KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam, IP&E, Fueling Excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Coming up on Prime Time, accused of kidnapping and raping a 10-year-old girl, sex offender Paul Mofnis Jr. pleads not guilty. Plus, 3 former Guam Police Department chiefs share with our Chris Barnett why they believe Captain Steve Ignacio is fit for duty. And after a decade under federal receivership, the Guam solid waste system will be returned to local control. Nestor Lecanto has the very latest.
Hafaday and good evening. An ethics investigation into a sitting Guam Supreme Court justice. One regional chief justice says that's the case. Chris Barnett has more in this exclusive report.
KUAM News has confirmed with the president of the Pacific Judicial Council, Chief Justice Camilo Noquet of the Chuuk State Supreme Court, that there is an ethics investigation involving a sitting justice on the Supreme Court of Guam. In an interview with KUAM News, Justice Noquet said he knows of an ongoing ethics investigation into Guam Supreme Court Justice Robert Torres.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I've heard from some sources that the investigation is going on, and I think that's the best interest of PJC. I heard about the Torres incident where the PJC is very interested in getting the result of the investigation. The investigation is on, and I'm still waiting.
Justice Torres, a member of the Pacific Judicial Council, and Noquet confirms the investigation stems from an incident that took place at an off-island PJC event. Noquet says the PJC is awaiting the results of the investigation, presumably being conducted by Judiciary of Guam Ethics Prosecutor Albert Tolentino. Noquet says the investigation into Torres is ongoing.
First, they have to go to the Guam Supreme Court and see what action they take when the investigation came out. And PJC, as far as PJC is concerned, we're going to take serious action.
Meanwhile, Judiciary of Guam Director of Policy Planning and Community Relations Sean Gumatautau tells KUAM when it comes to ethics complaints and investigations of lawyers, judges, and even justices, mum's the word.
Any and all matters related to judicial discipline are confidential.
Ethics Prosecutor Tolentino, in a written response to our questions, says only after the filing and service of formal charges can ethics complaint investigations proceedings be made public. If a complaint is found to be short of misconduct, the complaint shall be dismissed. After a full investigation is completed, the Committee on Judicial Discipline may dismiss the matter, impose a private admonition or discipline, or order that formal charges be filed with a special court. The special court can either dismiss the case or suggest a sanction to the Supreme Court of Guam. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
He may have admitted in court documents that he had an addiction to sexually assaulting or abusing little girls and that it was something he couldn't resist. But today in the Superior Court, he pleaded not guilty.
Accused of kidnapping and raping a 10-year-old girl walking to her bus stop in Tamuning on April 11th, Paul Mofnis Jr. answered to the charges handed down in an indictment late Tuesday.
Attorney Roden, how does your client plead today now?
He's not guilty to all the charges and counts contained in the indictment.
The indictment formally charges Mofnis of first-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony, attempted first-degree criminal sexual conduct, second-degree criminal sexual conduct, and kidnapping, with public defender Jocelyn Roden by his side. And on behalf of Mofnis, he asserted his right to a speedy trial and requested a trial by a jury of 12.
The next court hearing is before Judge Maria T. Senzon on
June 4th, 9:30 a.m.
June 4th at 9:30 a.m.
Mofnis is a level 1 sex offender convicted in May 1999 of kidnapping and raping 4 teenage girls. He was sentenced to 27 years but was granted 5 years parole but discharged early in July of last year.
Former police chiefs rallying around the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration's pick for top cop. Once again, here's Chris Barnett.
They're all in for acting Guam Police Chief Captain Steve Ignacio. Talking about former police chiefs James Marquez and Frank Ishizaki. Ishizaki tells KUAM News Ignacio is fit for duty, both physically and mentally.
He's not a nutcase, he's not a crazy, he's a very sane, rational, and responsible person.
So if he's very sane and stable, why do you think the psychologist would say he's not fit for duty?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I think she's being cautious, and I don't blame her for doing that because there are some liabilities if you misdiagnose something. And I think perhaps she's concerned about his long-term health concerns, and we all would be. And being a chief, it's a high-stress job. But I think Steve is ready to take it on.
Legislative Public Safety Chair Senator Pito Terlahi says he's going to shop around for a second psych eval for Ignacio, something Ignacio has agreed to. And Chief Marquez says whatever the end game is, it needs to be done sooner rather than later.
It's only fair for the community and the department itself that they come to a conclusion, whether they do another eval or not. But the senators and Steve, or the chief, need to come to some kind of a conclusion here.
Dr. Andrea Lighthizer, the psychologist who declared Ignacio mentally unfit for duty, tells KUAM News if the public could read her full report, they would understand there are ways Ignacio can address her psych eval's findings. Ishizaki, meanwhile, provided more insight into the situation. Insight, he says, came from Acting Chief Ignacio himself.
I did speak with Steve after this news first broke a couple weeks ago, and he assured me that there's nothing wrong with him, and there's a misunderstanding about whether he had a very serious heart condition at one time, and the psychologist, he told me, was concerned about how that might impact on his emotion and stability.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Acting Chief of Police Steve Ignacio, in the meantime, has been ordered to pay a $1,000 fine from his own pocket for violating the Sunshine Reform Act. It was in February Attorney Tom Fisher sent a Freedom of Information request to Ignacio and then filed a lawsuit. Fisher was seeking copies of GPD's firearm and holstering policies and directives. Ignacio initially refused, but after guidance from the Attorney General's office, he complied and sent a response, but certain portions were redacted. Attorney Fisher said some of the responses shouldn't have been. Although the judge, Maria Fitzpatrick, didn't have a problem with the redacted responses, she did have issue with the fact that Ignacio initially refused to comply with the FOIA request and therefore issued the $1,000 sanction. Fisher represented former Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio's alleged gun-grabbing incident, which he was found not guilty. After more than 11 years under federal receivership, the Guam solid waste system will finally be returned to local control. Governor Lulian Guerrero made the big announcement in a news conference at Adelup. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Today, I think, is a very historic day and a great day for the people of Guam. Over the last few months, I have been in court 3 times to argue the case that we are very prepared, we are very capable, we are very competent to take over the solid waste management program and to end the receivership.
The federal receiver was first appointed in March 2008 after what amounted to years of failure by GovGuam to correct violations of the Clean Water Act, specifically toxic contaminants leaking from the old ORDOT dump. Assistant AG Ken Orcutt has represented Guam virtually since the beginning.
The governor's right. This is a big day, and the receivership has been going on 11 years, but this problem that we're really dealing with goes back much further than that. Solve this problem has taken a lot of people, a lot of resources, and I think that's reflected by all the people that are here today.
He says there are still a few issues to iron out. For example, GovGuam is still on the hook for the post-closure costs of the ORDOT dump and must also fund the construction of a new cell at the Luzon landfill, as the existing ones are projected to reach capacity as early as next summer. With the 11-year receivership ending, GSWA Chairman Andrew Gale was asked to reflect back on what was sometimes a contentious relationship.
There's going to be that criticism that this was an expensive way to do it. They have put in place a functioning municipal solid waste system. They have established a pathway for Guam going forward. They have met the requirements of the consent decree. We can argue all day about the cost and the expense of it. It wouldn't it'd be interesting, academic discussion. But at the end of the day, this is where we are. I would prefer us to look forward.
The man who will be in charge going forward is new GSWA General Manager Larry Gast.
We're not going to change everything right away because there is a resistance to change, and it's innate in people. But we're going to ensure that we have a top-notch operation.
The official court-approved transition date is May 1st. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Expect an increase in police surveillance cameras if a bill discussed by senators Wednesday becomes law. Senator Tello Taitagui's measure would appropriate $200,000 for new equipment. She says GPD has also updated its standard operating procedures for the legal use of CCTV cameras in public areas.
Precincts shall not use audio in conjunction with the security camera system unless appropriated court orders are obtained. Surveillance systems shall be used to observe locations that are in public view and where there is no reasonable expectations of privacy. Anyone who engages in the unauthorized use or misuse of security camera systems may be subject to criminal prosecution and/or
Taitagui says a recent public poll indicates an overwhelming majority of respondents support the increased use of police surveillance cameras. Senators also discussed a bill to extend additional leave in the leave-sharing program to government employees suffering catastrophic illnesses. They also deliberated on a measure that would include representatives from the judiciary and the legislature on the health insurance negotiating team if either branch decides to participate in the contract. Session resumes Thursday morning at 10. An objection has been filed in the Archdiocese plans to sell its Hotel Action property in Jotnia. The objection was filed by the Lujan and Wolf law firm, which represents certain tort claimant creditors. They object for several reasons, including the lack of an appraisal by the debtor. They also allege the 5% realtor commission is exorbitant, considering they were initially willing to accept 2.5%. The Lujan and Wolf law firm also questioned the rush to sell, alleging a better sale can be conceived. Quote, the debtor wants a fire sale which benefits everyone but the creditors, while the debtor publicly asks for the congregation to pay for the victims' creditors' forgiveness. It is not willing to put its money where its mouth is. Although the listing price was $7.5 million, the Archdiocese plans to sell it to TF Investment LLC for $5.4 million to be paid in cash. A realtor's commission will also be paid to the tune of $270,000 at closing. Proceeds from the sale will go to administrative costs, real property tax liens, and settlement payments to the survivors of the clergy sexual abuse cases. A hearing on the sale of the property is scheduled for May 3rd. Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
The next generation Galaxy has arrived. See it and believe it. The Infinity O displays the most innovative Galaxy screen yet. Capture the wider world. Take stunning photos with a 123-degree field of vision. Use your phone to charge other wireless charging devices. Don't just stand out, stand apart.
Get your life back and learn how to live sharper, leaner, longer, and better in 30 days or less. On Guam for 4 nights only, open to the public with free admission, 12 years and older. Life-changing seminars with Dr. David DeRose with co-presenter Sonia DeRose. 4 nights, 4 different topics, and it's free. April 22nd through the 25th, 6 p.m. at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa. Space is limited. Seats are first come, first served basis. MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
Welcome back with regional headlines. Here's KSPN2 News.
Hafa Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI.
The civil action case is Joshua Gray versus Imperial Pacific International CNMI. On April 19, 2019, the lawsuit is filed. According to court documents, this is an action of civil nature involving exclusive of interest and costs, a sum in excess of $75,000. The first cause of action is wrongful termination in violation of public policy. This includes immigration violations. The second and third cause of action is wrongful failure to hire on 2 separate occasions, the first on or around June 2016 and the second March 2017. The fourth cause of action is intentional infliction of emotional distress, and a prayer for relief against the defendant IPI CNMI as followed. 1, for actual damages in an amount to be proven at trial. 2, for punitive damages to be determined at trial. And 3, for such other and further relief as the court deem appropriate. KSPN2 News reached out to IPI CNMI for a statement and received this response. Quote, your request has been forwarded and received by the upper management as per instructions to kindly inform you that IPI has no comment on this. End quote.
For more news, visit SaipanTV.com. For KSPN2 News, I'm Ashley McDowell.
The process to rebuild Simon Sanchez High School may be moving forward. Guam Department of Education officials and the governor are set to announce an update Thursday morning at the Jigo campus. As reported, Superintendent John Fernandez is now taking the lead. Back in January, he told KUAM that the department was set to send out the RFP for land surveying services and received at least 3 bids. Taking a stand to say enough is enough. Today, many, including KUAM, participated in a walkout organized by the Guam Family Justice Center Alliance, raising our hands in solidarity with survivors of sexual assault and against all the violence and cases of criminal sexual conduct that have been reported recently. The nonprofit Victim Advocates Reaching Out, or VERO, also hosted a wave in Hagåtña, where participants wore denim or teal. They joined many across the nation in organizing Denim Day. The goal is to break the silence and work to end sexual assault in our community. Open in 5, that's the statistic of, or 1 in 5, that is the statistics of how many women across the U.S. college campuses may experience an instance of sexual assault. Students at the University of Guam hope to bring light to this issue and will be hosting a free open forum on Thursday, April 25th. Evigan Sengabao is part of the social work class on family violence.
Awareness and Prevention Month, and it's all sexual assault is also part of family violence. So we think that was a good idea to make the campus and Guam in general aware of the problem. UOG students, they don't know who to talk to if they experience sexual misconduct in campus. It's basically about awareness.
The forum will feature real testimony from students, faculty, and an expert who will present data on sexual misconduct across 7 Micronesian campuses. It will begin from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the class lecture hall. When it comes to cases of sexual assault on island, children are often the target. Back in 2012, public law implemented the Lonnie Kate Task Force to change policy. Though unclear if that task force still meets regularly, an adopted curriculum is currently in use at the Guam Department of Education. Carmen Terlahi reports.
The Lonnie Kate Task Force was named after a survivor of sexual assault and an advocate for victims. Former Senator B.J. Cruz authored the legislation that put the force together. In 2016, they developed a school-wide GDOE curriculum to protect minors.
The intent of this law was to educate all the children from the very early age, pre-K, through third through fifth, middle school and high school, to teach the children about the importance of protecting their body and how to say no.
Titled My Body is Special, the sexual abuse prevention curriculum is still being taught in GDOE classrooms today.
It's used district-wide. And so definitely it's something that, again, because it's the public law, and the public law requires the Guam Department of Education to implement the curriculum.
Covering a variety of topics and offered in health classes. Stacy Coletta, Deputy Superintendent of Assessment and Accountability, says she received training on how to help children spot and report abuse.
Sometimes at the younger ages, they may not know. And so there's curriculum, for instance, on good touch and bad touch, and that'll help students to understand whether or not something is not right and where's the proper place to go when that happens.
Statistics are alarming. Last year in 2018, 70% of rape cases in Guam were committed against children. Coletta says it's hard to say whether or not this curriculum has helped more children come forward, but she believes it arms students with the tools to speak out.
Talking about sexual assault and sexual abuse is a tough conversation, even for parents to talk to our children, our own children. But this makes it a whole lot easier because there's a lesson plan, there's key terms, there's key ideas, there's our Guam teachers who are outstanding. And once you get all of that into the mix, I think it helps the island community because it takes away some of that discomfort when it comes to talking about a subject that isn't easy to talk about.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
You may have seen this story on our digital platforms. Residents urged to travel with caution due to ongoing measles outbreaks. Public health is monitoring measles cases in various parts of the United States, such as New York City and Washington State, and in the region, including the Philippines, China, and Australia. The number of cases in the Philippines totals to more than 28,000 and nearly 400 deaths, many children under 5. Measles is highly contagious and can spread person to person via large respiratory droplets. Some symptoms include a rash lasting more than 3 days, fever, cough, runny nose, or red, watery eyes. Public health ensures travelers to check in with their local physician and ensure shot records are up to date and they are fully vaccinated. Officials say the MMR vaccine is the best protection against measles. Stay tuned. Sports is coming up next.
Looking for a great deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Then get to Cars Plus in Mighty now for our spring sales event. Like a new Jeep Compass Sport, $166 per paycheck. Or a new Chrysler Pacifica LX, $220 per paycheck. Or save $8,500 on a new Ram 1500. How about a new Jeep Wrangler Sport? Only $274 per paycheck. Low 1.99% financing is available on approved credit. Save thousands during our spring sales event going on now at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
make memories on our island. They contribute millions of dollars every year to our community. So what does that mean? Tourism keeps our island's culture alive.
And it strengthens our identity as Chamorros.
Tourism creates opportunities for local businesses to thrive.
The dishes I create feature local ingredients.
These ingredients come from local farms and create local jobs for farmers like us.
For every job we see in tourism,
there are hundreds more we don't see.
From teachers
to babysitters
to engineers.
We all work in the tourism industry.
Our visitor industry benefits everyone. It improves our income and gives back to our community.
Meaning more opportunities for a better Guam.
Tourism works for Guam.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight on the show, we're talking basketball with Brent Tipton. Now, you coach the junior national basketball program, but you're also the head coach for the UOG men Triton basketball team. But tonight on the show, we're talking about the U17 squad that you guys are preparing to head to New Caledonia.
That's correct. Yeah, we leave for New Caledonia on August 17th.
And the partnership that you guys have with Guam Elite Basketball, you guys start at the U8 division. Talk about how that helps you guys as a program being able to coach these kids at such a young age.
Well, the whole goal behind Guam Elite is to prepare everything for the men's team. So the men's team is the focal point on the men's side for Guam basketball. And so everything that we do with the youth, as far as under 17, under 15, and with Guam Elite, with the under 8, under 10, under 12, and so forth, is so that we're building a strong foundation, a strong base to support our men's national team.
And you guys went to Papua New Guinea with the U15 team in December. What did you see as far as talent and where we match up with the rest of the region?
Well, we match up well guard-wise with the world at our division. What we kind of see as a hindrance to our youth teams and what in the past with our men's teams has been a height disadvantage. And so when we were in Papua New Guinea with the under 15 team, guard play was solid, but we had a hard time matching up with height, whether that was from Australia, New Zealand, or Samoa.
And for the U17 national team, how many players are we looking at to head out for this trip?
Well, we had our tryouts in December. We had about 45 young men come out from all of the schools, and then we had to cut that down to 25. So right now we're working with an expanded roster of 25, and at the end of May, we will cut that back down to 12, which will be our travel roster.
And for the national team level, I know you guys have been trying to work more with the coaches. They had a coaches clinic a few months back, and really trying to get everybody on the same page as far as tactics and maybe training for the athletes.
Right, so the whole heart behind that was just to get other coaches to see what we're trying to emphasize in the national team and really use that as an opportunity to not necessarily educate coaches, because coaches are already educated, but just to see the way that we are, how we're playing the game in our system and in our program.
I think with the success of the men's national basketball team, I think the main goal one day is to have junior national players have their favorite players being from the Guam team.
And I think we already do. All of our guys look up to players like Willie Stinnett, JP Cruz, Irvin Jose, and then up-and-comers like Billy Belger and Andrew Carlos. So I do think locally they look up to those guys. We talk about those guys and how they represent Guam. But even the new additions that we've had over the last year definitely making an impact on our youth today as far as basketball goes.
And what's the caliber of play we're looking at for New Caledonia?
New Caledonia will be under 17. So you're looking at players from Australia and New Zealand 1 year out of some of them playing Division I basketball. So as far as Australia and New Zealand goes, that's the caliber that we will be going up against.
All right, well, thanks for coming on the show. Before I go, I want to say what's up to my little Nyao Logan. He's in the hospital right now. Get well, get strong, so when you get out the hospital, you could be a big tiger again. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
"180 pulses per minute. That's the rate of your heartbeat when you were born. And as you grow up, you'll get to meet your awesome crew from over 164,000 people on this island. Together, you'll explore some of Guam's 210 square mile land, where you'll get to enjoy hundreds of things to do, from climbing the highest mountain and more, to exploring the deepest trench and more. But that won't be enough for you, so you'll travel more than 1,000 miles to experience 1,000 more things, in more places where you'll meet more faces, until you meet that one person with whom you'll be doing 1,000,000 more things with, until you bring another heart that would beat 180 pulses per minute, and we'll be there, giving you more data for more of those experiences.
Autism Community Together of Guam is a support group for individuals with autism spectrum disorders and their families. We are a group of parents and caregivers who have children with autism spectrum disorders and understand the joys and challenges in raising them. To learn more about ACT or to join our family, call Joe Bloss at 687-1284. Send an email to autismcommunityguam@gmail.com or visit us at Autism Community Together on Facebook.
Triple J says yes. Easy financing? Yes. Easy trade-in? Yes. Fast and friendly? Yes. Find the car of your dreams like our Mazda CX-3 at only $19,995 or the Honda HR-V at only $180 per paycheck. Get top market value on your trade-in, explore payment options that work for you, and get pre-approved instantly. We'll even go the extra mile to deliver your vehicle to your home or office. Triple J says yes. Just click, pick, drive, and purchase your next vehicle at triplejguam.com today. Triple J, customers first.
Before we wrap up the show, here's your birthday shout-outs.
On this fine April day, we celebrate you. Happy birthday, Pilar Regis. Happy birthday, Mom and Grandmom from your kids and 2 granddaughters. We love you so much. And a happy sweet 16th birthday to Franklin Fujihira. Happy birthday, son. Every day is laughter and sunshine with you. Thank you. You are truly a wonderful son. Love always, Mom, Dad, Juliet, Jazzy, and Kiwi Joe. And a special happy 21st birthday to our Kiki. Happy birthday, Keandra McDonald. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness and good health. May all your dreams and wishes come true today. We love you with all our heart and soul. Continue to be that amazing young lady you truly are, and continue to mark your spot in the world. With all our love and blessings, your family. And a very special happy birthday to Felipe Eric Lopez. Happy birthday to you, Eric. Love your family. And to KUAM's very own happy birthday, Jason Solis. You the man. And a happy belated birthday going out to Mama O. Happy birthday, everyone.
And speaking of the birthday boy, he's up next with Extra. Good night.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world.
Off a day, everybody, and welcome to News Extra. I'm Jason Salas, and tonight we will give you details about Law Week and how you and your family can help Autism Community Together by participating in the first ever fire truck pull for autism. But first, here to talk to us more about the 2019 Guam Department of Education Teacher of the Year Award are the agency spokesperson, Isa Baza. I believe we have worked together before?
Yes.
Many moons ago. And our friend, the chairperson for the Foundation of Public Education, Maria Leonguro. Half a day.
Half a day. How are you?
All right. Good to see you again a few weeks after we actually had that Facebook live stream when we were announcing the finalists.
Yes.
And now it whittles down to the very single person who will be the winner.
Yes.
Okay. This is a huge event.
Definitely.
Okay.
It's a really big deal. The gala that we're going to have honoring the Teacher of the Year is going to be at the Hyatt, and it's going to be on Friday, May 10th from 6 to 10 p.m. We've had some very good luck selling tickets to our sponsors, so we're all full-on sponsors, and we look forward to seeing all of our sponsors at the event. But the DOE community still has an opportunity to buy tickets to support their favorite teacher of the year contestant, and yeah.
So tickets are running out really quickly. You know, we've been doing our observations for the top 6 finalists for the Teacher of the Year program, and I know that definitely all of their school community, their friends and family are hoping to attend. And so DOE employees that are hoping to attend the gala can contact Weddingale Elementary School main office to purchase tickets.
Okay, so Maria, I'm curious, what responsibilities does the Teacher of the Year, I don't want to say bear the burden because that's a little bit too, you know, dramatic, but I mean, there are a lot of lofty jobs that person does have to be responsible for.
So upon winning the Guam Teacher of the Year, our Teacher of the Year actually goes to Washington, D.C. to represent Guam in the National Teacher of the Year competition. And they do have certain responsibilities or duties throughout the year, and I'll let Isa elaborate a little bit on those.
So, you know, our current Teacher of the Year, her name is Jonah Gumatautau. She's from Agata Johnson Middle School.
Sure.
She's actually been doing that this month, representing Guam in Washington, D.C. They'll get a chance to meet the president. Earlier this year, she went to the induction ceremony for the Teacher of the Year program in February. She also is kind of a spokesperson for education, and so she does a lot of work at our schools and with the superintendent's office. And in addition, they get a lot of perks being the Teacher of the Year.
Yes, that's the fun part. So the foundation really wanted to make sure that, you know, we make a big deal of the Teacher of the Year, that we really highlight what they're doing for the community. And so one of the things that we do for the Teacher of the Year, thanks to one of our presenting sponsors, Cars Plus, they actually get to the use of a car for an entire year throughout their reign as the Teacher of the Year.
Very nice.
Complete with gas and also insurance, so that's a nice perk. Mm-hmm. We also, our other presenting sponsor, United, also pays for their way to attend the National Teacher of the Year basically the proceedings in Washington, D.C. that Isa mentioned. And actually, also this year, the Teacher of the Year was invited to the Googleplex, I guess the Google headquarters in
Mountain View, California.
Yes, in Mountain View, California. And
I've been there before. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and so they had, I guess, all of the state Teachers of the Year. They had kind of a convention there with Google, and it was, from what I'm told, it was a really amazing experience. So that's also paid for by the foundation.
Tell them to see the skeleton of the T-Rex.
Okay.
It's right there next to the beach volleyball court, and it is insane.
We'll let the next Teacher of the Year know that. But yeah, those are sort of the major prizes, and of course there's a lot of other incentives that the Teacher of the Year will receive in order to just thank them for the work that they're doing for our community and our island.
Okay. Well, Isa, Superintendent John Fernandez was saying at the announcement of the finalists when we did that at Cars Plus, that he was saying one of the benefits of this award is that it's peer reviewed. Because I was joking with him and I said, I do not envy you having the judge. And he was like, well, it's selected by teachers, and your peers determine who the best teacher is. Was the same criteria applied for selecting the Teacher of the Year of the finalists?
Yes. So, this program, the selection process has kind of been ongoing for almost 6 months now. And so our judges are made up of former Teacher of the Year representatives, and these are teachers from our elementary, middle, and high schools. And they're actually currently at the schools conducting observations, and I had a chance to sit in on some of these observations. And it really, made me have so much respect for all of our teachers, because you see them in action and you see what they're doing with the students. And definitely it seems like a challenging but very rewarding career. So thank you to all of our judges and our teachers.
Okay, now, I don't want to say as a former journalist, because once a journalist, always a journalist, right? Can you give us, Isa, a little bit of hint about who might be the Teacher of the Year? Give us like some breaking news.
Okay, everyone's asking this. Everyone tries to
I would
pull me
assume.
to the side and try to find out. So we don't know who it is yet. So selection's still ongoing, and what everyone wants to know, it'll be announced at the gala on May 10.
You can get the scoop. You're Isa Baza.
No, she doesn't even tell me who it is.
Okay, well, very good.
You have to show up to find out.
Okay, so privacy is guaranteed.
Yes.
All right, well, we cannot wait for this. It's going to be an amazing event, so thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We very much look forward to seeing the announcement of who the winner is and congratulating them, so thanks very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason.
All right, please stay tuned. There is more after this.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Get it, boys. All hung out with suits and ties, and the one on the lady go would bring it down. Joint on the corner where the big boys play.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that and I've replaced them with the white fillings and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
Afternoon and welcome back to the show, everybody. If you're streaming us on YouTube or Facebook or watching us on KUAM TV, I'm Jason Salas, and someone who I have admired for many, many years, Justice Robert Torres of the Judiciary of Guam is joining me on the KUAM couch now, and we are talking about a wonderful event that happens each and every week, each and every year, I should say, Law Week.
It is.
It's every year, but it's Law Week. So, Justice, welcome back. A pleasure as always.
Thank you, Jason. Always a pleasure to be here. And I want to thank KUAM because you've been supportive of our Law Week effort since the very beginning. This is the 12th year we've been doing the program. And each year it continues to grow. And KUAM has been a big partner with us in this. So thank you.
Well, we certainly, it's our honor, your honor. And we certainly have the easy part because everybody at the Judiciary, this is not an easy event to put together because it's an entire week, but events all over the island.
Indeed it is, and actually it's grown from Law Day to Law Week to Law Weeks, and we have activities going on. We'll be starting this Friday with the resolution proclamation where all three branches of government will come together and recognize Law Week with a signing at the Governor's Cabinet Room in Adelup, and then next week we have the State of the Judiciary address by Chief Justice Merriman. And then this Saturday we have our law fair, and including the first of our fairy tale mock trials that will go on at the law fair this weekend.
I have been waiting for that. I don't want to bury the lead, Your Honor, but I know this has been your baby, your pet project, if you will, for many, many years. I believe you've done, was it Goldilocks and the Three Bears before?
Yes.
These are actual real cases put underneath the guise of, funny fairy tales. Or, Did you do Star Wars one year? Or Harry Potter?
Did. Luke Skywalker was on trial for murder for blowing up the Death Star.
I remember that one.
Yeah, and we've had, SpongeBob. We've had the Three Little Pigs on trial for attempted wolf cooking as the wolf comes down the chimney.
So what have you got for us this year?
Well, there's a number of them. I mean, one of the ones that is always an exciting one is Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Snow White. Snow White is being sued for the fairest of them all. The wicked stepmother says that she stole her trademark.
Okay.
So
if it's all seven dwarfs, would that constitute like a class action lawsuit, or is that still individual?
Yeah, it's the seven dwarfs are always there as witnesses. So they come in as witnesses.
Okay, very tactical.
Yeah,
how lawyerly. Okay,
but it is a lot of fun, and the program. On a serious note, with it, we started with two schools, Agata Johnson and Mercy Heights, and we had close to 40 kids. Now we have 14 schools with over 400 kids participating. And in fact, this morning as I was discussing our mock trial play, a mother texted me to remind me that her son, who's now a second-year lawyer started with the mock trial.
Wow.
In an elementary school.
Well, how does that make you feel? Because I know one of the hallmarks of Law Week, and this is for everybody who's involved in the practice of law on Guam, it is a celebration of the profession, which is very, very noble and very necessary in our island community. But it's also about celebrating the liberties that we as Americans are privileged to have.
And in fact, that's picking up on this year's theme. The national theme this year talks about the importance of individual liberties and rights and its contribution to a free society. We decided in honor of the 75th anniversary of our liberation this year to give it more of a local flavor. And so the theme for us is evolving liberty 75 years later. And so we're going to be focusing on some of the liberties that we enjoy and maybe some of the things that we don't have, comparable to other U.S. citizens in the mainland, and really get that discussion out there. We're going to have a presidential lecture series next week on May 2nd with Attorney Joaquin Arreola Sr., Judge Joaquin Manabusen, and the Attorney General of Guam, Levin Camacho. Will be talking about the growth and development of the law, post-liberation, and the changes that we've seen, and some of the things that we still have to address.
How large, Your Honor, is Guam's lawyer community, lawyers, judges, people that practice law?
I think the active practice of law, last I remember, is probably 300 plus active lawyers. And then we have some lawyers who are still in inactive status. The largest law practice is at the Attorney General's office in terms of the number of licensed practitioners.
And how would you describe, the nature of Guam's legal community? Because some people say, it can be a very cutthroat industry depending on the market you're in, but I've always known it to be very collegial.
Yeah, I think it is still a collegial atmosphere in our community. And I think we try to stress that with the get-togethers that we have. The Guam Bar Association is very good at doing that. I mean, the profession is changing, as is the island is changing, unfortunately. And so you don't have, I think, the same collegiality that existed 20 years ago. But that's not to say, and I think part of it is getting younger lawyers to realize that you can be adversaries in the courtroom, but still friends outside of the courtroom. And I think, it's a message we try to impart upon them when we get together. And they see it, I think, when you see especially some of these seasoned lawyers who are very good friends, but have practices where they're squaring off constantly in the courtroom.
Well, two of the candidates for Attorney General this time, it was Frank Gumatato and Doug Moylan. They say they're the best of friends, and yet they were opposing each other running for the office.
Yeah, and that happens. And, you just have to recognize that in a small community as ours, you're going to see the person in a variety of different ways, not only professionally, but personally, at the gym, out on the side, walking at the beach, wherever it is. And so to be collegial and to encourage a collegial bar, I think, is important.
Okay, final question as we wrap up. Sitting back from your vantage point, having practiced law and made this profession your life's work for so many years on Guam, what message would you like this year's Law Week to send down to younger practitioners or even those who have yet to start and maybe considering a career?
Well, I think the important thing is for us, and part of why we continue to do these Law Week activities, is to let people know the importance of the judiciary as the third branch of government. It's an integral part, and oftentimes, people focus on the executive branch, they focus on the legislative branch, they get almost all the headlines. But the judiciary plays an important role in our society and is the cornerstone of the third branch of government. And I think we just try to get people to understand the important role that we play in the government and in government structure.
All right. Well, Your Honor, it is always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And just a quick plug, Jason, for
Absolutely.
the law fair on this weekend at the Judiciary starting at 10, and then the Race Judicata 5K on May 11th.
Those are always fun.
At 6 o'clock at the Judiciary.
All right, real quick. There is no more lawyer on Guam that is a bigger sports fan. Can I get a prediction for the NBA Finals?
I think it's going, of course, from the West, it most likely will be the Warriors that will go. And I think whoever wins the Boston Bucks series will be in the finals.
Okay.
And
how many games? Warriors in 5?
No, if the Celtics make it, I'm going to cheer for Boston.
There you go.
But, it's going to be tough. The Warriors are stacked, as we know, and they play very well.
Well, we'd love to have you back. We'd love to have you back when the finals are well in swing.
I'd be happy to come back and talk sports
Talk
with you
sports.
one day.
Absolutely.
Right,
we can do
Jason?
that forever. All right. Thanks so much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We're back after this.
The next generation Galaxy has arrived. See it and believe it. The Infinity O display is the most innovative Galaxy screen yet. Capture the wider world. Take stunning photos with a 123-degree field of vision. Use your phone to charge other wireless charging devices. Don't just stand out, stand apart.
How can you make McDonald's hot and deliciously juicy Quarter Pounder even more delicious? One word: bacon. The new fresh beef Quarter Pounder bacon or deluxe. 2 new ways to leave you speechless. Pair it with any size soft drink for just $1. What do you get when you add lettuce and tomato to McDonald's hot and deliciously juicy fresh beef Quarter Pounder? You get fresh on fresh on fresh. The new fresh beef Quarter Pounder deluxe or bacon. 2 new ways to leave you speechless. Pair it with any size soft drink for just $1.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
All right, everybody, welcome back. If you did not yet catch the special Putting the Pieces Together by our very own Joe Ungencharfers, you can check that out right now on Facebook and on YouTube. It is amazing because it features people in our community who have dealt with raising children with autism, and there is a way where you can actually help the Autism Community Together organization. The organization's president is Jo Blas, and she is here right now. Hafaday once again, Jo.
Hafaday, thank you for having us again.
And thank you for being on that special. Your story was amazing, it was uplifting, it was inspiring, and thank you for speaking so candidly
you're very
about
welcome.
your
You know, I think the more we're able to tell our story, the more we can get that awareness out there. So.
Well, and awareness is what we're talking about right now because our good friend Kevin Riley is way over there.
Way over.
In another time zone, it seems like.
Yes.
From you. So Hafaday, welcome back.
Hafaday.
Okay, and explain to me, Kev, what this partnership is between Autism Community Together and you folks at the Guam Fire Department.
Definitely. So it's just a good collaboration between us. I've known Major Joe for, like we said before, a very long time. And, you know, with some of our members that have children who are also autistic, you know, this opportunity came up for us to provide a little teamwork with them, and just we're always looking for ways to be out there in the community as firefighters.
Now, the activity that you guys are undertaking is very specific, so I'd love to hear all about that.
Sure. So Kevin gave us a call and he says, I have an idea to do some awareness and maybe some fundraising for the autism community. We'd like to do a fire truck pull. And when he said that, I was like, oh my God, that's such an awesome event, or it will be an awesome event because it's a great idea. And, you know, just the fact that the fire department wanted to support our kids and our families living with autism, you know, it was overwhelming. I just thought it was awesome.
Now, to contextualize, this is the exact same type of fire truck pull that you did when you guys had the firefighter muster, right?
Correct. It'd be the same as the firefighter muster.
And that's an 8-ton fire truck, is it?
It's 40,000 pounds.
So 20 tons.
20 tons.
Wow.
It's no joke.
That's heavy metal.
Yes,
in
very.
the true sense of the word.
It's for sure. It's fully loaded, operational. You know, it's difficult. It's no joke.
Okay, and so Joe, how is getting the autism community together, literally, you know, as hence your name, and get them to instill in them the sense of teamwork, the idea of we're going to work together to achieve this goal, and we're going to have fun?
Well, I think the whole idea of just the autism community together, it's a support group, so we support one another. And everything that we've done, especially in this month, has really brought us all together just to show each other that we're there to support what we're going through, the challenges, and we do it every day, right? This April is Autism Month, but we experience these challenges every day of the year. But to know we have each other, and then we have support from the community, the Guam Fire Department. It's overwhelming. It's something that we've really needed for a long time, just to show that you know, our kids might be a little different, but you know, they're just like any other kid. They're still a child.
And competition is inherent in every human being, and achievement. You know, when you set your mind to do something and you do that, you get, you know, it's an endorphin and serotonin rush and everything like that. But I mean, it's something to be proud
and
of.
this is a fun event. So I know Kevin said it's going to be difficult, but you know, we have family teams just getting together because they want to show support for the autism community, and they're going to go out. They're going to do their best. If they pull the truck in less than 3 minutes, that'll be great. If they don't, just to come out there and try, because they're supporting a great event.
Okay, so Kev, once again, 20-ton truck. What are the parameters of, like, how far do they have to pull it? We got the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, so the truck will be pulled 50 feet. And 50 feet by 10 people. We actually had someone who thought, you know, I could pull the truck, it's on wheels, you know, once you get it rolling, it wouldn't even budge. You know, so it's...
An individual person said that?
Yes. So we let him try at one of the musters. And just for, like you mentioned about inherent competition, we actually have a lot of our guys in the fire department. We have about 4 teams from GFD, ARF, Anderson, the Western Pacific Islands Association are all sponsoring teams. So that challenge between us is still going on even after the muster, which is awesome, and you know, it's going to be displayed for everybody.
Well, again, inherent in every firefighter is the need to. You don't seek to be a hero, but it's something that you do by the nature of your work. But you know, there's also competition, and you want to represent. Yes. You want to represent your company as well.
Yes, we have northern and southern battalions that form teams that are going to compete against each other. We have our advanced life support unit, and of course, you know, the Western Pacific, all the chiefs from the various fire services in Guam.
Yeah. So I'm thinking the muster challenge was only a few weeks ago, and who won that one again?
You know, I'm not sure who won the truck
I
pull.
should know this. I can
yes,
look this up.
I should know too.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure who won the truck pull.
So it's not exactly a year of bragging rights and everything like that. Some team could literally
this
pull together, and they could be the champion for this.
This would definitely be bragging rights here as well.
So on that note, Joe, is this something that you can possibly see, or events like this going forward? You'll have like every single year to again, you know, instill that sense of community within autism.
Oh yes, absolutely. Actually, we're even talking about what we want to do for next year. We're not going to divulge anything, but you know, this was put together just weeks before Autism Month, so we think it's going to be a very successful event. But I think because it's the first one, we're going to start planning way ahead in advance next year, so we can really make it a huge event next year. So this is just going to be the first of many to come.
And this shirt, I would say, is the official uniform.
Absolutely. So with
that is gorgeous.
With every team that enters, each member will get a shirt, and it's a 10-person team. We have a men's division, and we also have a co-ed division. So with co-ed, you need to have at least 4 females pulling for a co-ed division, and we have about 22 teams. I'm not sure how many of that is co-ed. I think it's 4 or 5 that are co-ed, and we're still accepting.
Fired up for autism.
Yeah, we're still accepting registration.
Okay, well, wrapping up, you know, as April, you know, winds down, we still have several days to go, and even though this is Autism Awareness Month, you know, you continue to do your good work throughout the year. But what have you seen as far as the community being aware of, like, you know, how autism affects our community, and you know, how, in your opinion, how has the month been?
I think it's been great. I mean, it's really overwhelming, the amount of support we had. We had so many people come out to our fair. I mean, it's countless. I can't even tell you how many people were there. But a lot of them came out and they just said they wanted to support and they wanted to show that our, you know, support to our kids. So it's very overwhelming. And when you're just out in the community and somebody comes up to you that you don't even know, maybe your son or daughter is having one of those days, and they just tell you it's okay, that, oh my God, that just makes all the difference in the world.
Well, you did share that in the special.
Yes,
so
I
thanks
did.
again.
You're very
and
welcome.
Kev, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys truly are heroes.
Thank you.
And we thank you very much. All right, and once again, everybody, Putting the Pieces Together is streaming right now on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/KUAM News. It is an amazing production. You will enjoy it very much. And you will be back right after this.
Your community calendar is brought to you by